I was able to find either a building mound or a legit star fort. And as you can see, like, I don't even think I'm like 2/3 done this yet. There's probably like a ton I have missed. And I'm sure some of these would match up with the Ohio mounds if it went that far, but I don't think there's
yeah, because it looks like you have some. It looks like you have some markers in Cuyahoga County, which is like where Cleveland's at, right there on Lake Erie. It looks like you have at least just south of Lake Erie there. It looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, a lot of. I mean, that's a lot of pins. So we could check that out too.
Yeah, and like, why would they just add this little scoop down here? You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have just cut it off on Ontario, because this was like showing Ontario. It wasn't showing the bottom part, like right here, where I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but in the bottom, like almost center of the screen, it's just odd that they put that little scoop of map in there. They wanted to show us probably how this train line went, actually. But yeah, there's just a ton of stuff. And I'm just gonna go peek at the chat for a second and get a break.
Can you click on that and does it do Google Maps, or
do you want me to bring it up on Google Earth?
Yeah, I mean, if some of these are star forts, it'd be cool to check them out and see what they look like, or if they're mounds or something.
Okay.
All maps are in John Levi's new book called Old World. That book's released. I thought it wasn't out yet.
So I can show you all the ones that I know. Sorry, this. So the ones that are closest to me is like in this area in the St. Clair River here, between Sarnia, Port Huron, Fort Gratiot, and like Detroit, Windsor. So we'll switch this out back to Google Earth if I didn't close it.
Are we talking about the truth about the Japanese built the pyramids?
So I got to reopen Earth.
Oh, good. Oh, man. I had like 200 photos selected and then lost them selected and had a temporary little moment of a freak out there. Good thing I was muted. So, Ryan, you're bringing one more thing up, or should we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good when you is.
Oh, there we go.
So here's one in Amherstburg. This one you can still go visit. There's the star shape if it's not jumping out to anybody.
Oh yeah, I see it in top left too.
Yeah, and what you'll notice is like these spill over onto roads and get divided in property lines and stuff. So people these haven't always been important, is what I'm trying to say, or preserved. They've tried to been, in a lot of cases, just disappeared.
Wild Alchemist spirit. When I grew up, had several mounds. You should go take video or pictures of the mounds if you can.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily like, I'm just on the most recent map, so some stuff might not be on these, but like when we get up into Windsor and Detroit, like this was something. If anyone's been to so this is so Sandwich Town, the famous town. This is a huge native I don't know if it's a reserve, but it's protected land, and it's the oldest surviving, like, it's Ojibwe Park. I don't know too much about this place, except when I used to live near Windsor, I've seen a lot of really, really strange stuff near Ojibwe Park, like paranormal stuff. And I'm not one for believing in ghosts or anything like that, but like I've seen stuff with my own eyes around here, and like I would never go back here ever again because I was so freaked out by it. But it doesn't really have anything to do with anything. But I think something is going on there. And then there's in Detroit, this was where is it now? This was a star fort at one time too. I can't remember the name of it now. It's where they had all the free festivals. They still do. There's a parking garage, but it was on the star map as well. But there's lots going on in Detroit. You can see where all the cross sections are. A lot happened, but there is fort. There's another fort right here too. This one, Fort Wayne. And like this one's like a double one because you can see the normal square, but on the outside of it, it's got the extra pattern too. And then the jail in Sandwich Town across the way is pretty interesting too. It's like a yeah, I'm not going to go for a hunt with all y'all around here, but there's a good target. I'll just Google it here.
The last one was pretty insane though.
Maybe let me drop the map. So yeah, when this area is really interesting, and this place is almost like a castle. Like some sides of it still do look like a castle. But the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it's near Ojibwe Park, which was a huge Native American place, and it just ties into these buildings maybe being here longer than the narrative. So hard time with this. Yeah. I'll give it one more shot.
Well, who do you think was creating some of these structures then?
Like this one in particular, I'm not really sure because like a lot of them I think are old like Mohawk and Seneca ones, but this architecture doesn't really follow it. And like obviously there's a mound in the background here.
Are you able to zoom in on the archway to the entrance of the building to see if there's any symbols there?
No. No, I can't. Here. It's just
It became like distorted.
But also in this area too, like there's there's rumors. There's rumors of tunnels going from some of these buildings under the Detroit River to places in Detroit. They say from the rum running days. But I do believe they're there still. People still talk about them, but I don't know. These bricks look extremely old now that I'm looking at this, but I'm not
I thought
really
you
sure.
could like scroll in closer on the picture though on Google Earth. Like, are you able to just?
If you can, I don't know how to on this.
Do you have a
Like,
mouse,
it's
or
not
what are you
working.
using?
Yeah, I'm on a mouse and I'm using Control or Alt or everything. It's just not working.
Usually it's like the ball thing.
Yeah, it's not working.
That sucks. Yeah, I would love to see the symbolism because maybe we could associate it with something, but it definitely looks like the type of architecture we see in it. All these cities around this area that are influenced by like French architecture.
Right? Like it's like maybe it does work, just not while we're streaming for some strange reason. That was pretty epic information, Elkman. Thank you for sharing, brother. Got anything else to go over, or should I pull up Shem's?
No, I'm sure I'll interrupt Shem enough that I'll get all my
All
points.
right. We shall start off with the Archaeological Atlas of Ohio that Mr. Shem Jacobs has up for us.
I was trying to get the HD version of this. That's what caused my computer to crash, so we won't be able to zoom in as much as I'd like to. But this is in Franklin County, Ohio. All these red triangles represent mounds. So this is downtown Columbus, which is the capital city of Ohio. You can see just how many earthworks and mounds there were in this area. They would draw these half, or I guess it's like 2/3 circles to represent earthworks. And then if there was a particularly massive location, it seems like they would draw this, I guess you could call it like something that looks like Moorish architecture to me, but it's like a mosque or something. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but right below the word South Columbus on the left, that's the type of larger structures that they would draw in certain locations. So I've basically been going to these sites and trying to get as much evidence of their existence as possible. Unfortunately, I think it's been at least 15 to 18 in a row that I've gone to have no longer existed. But I do have evidence of some of them at least. One of the sites I want to talk about that still exists today is called the Reservoir Stone Mound. It's not in complete condition, and there's a guy named Chuck on YouTube, CF Apps 7865, who has done a video about this.
R.I.P. Chuck. Great resource. So much good work.
This is close to Buckeye Lake, Ohio. This is allegedly the largest pyramidal structure in North America, and there are some remnants of it left today, but this is an article about it. There's no photos on this website, but we'll look at photos here in a second. The base of the mound was 182 feet in diameter, which that number seems pretty low compared to some of the places I've been to. We still have this Miamisburg mound today that is pretty massive. You can see other cities getting on top of this. This is the same area that the Adena Mound builders, the Hopewell Indians, all those people were in back in the day. So these are some photos of that mound we were just talking about, the Reservoir Stone Mound. It's right off the highway. This is Highway 70 heading towards Buckeye Lake right here. So you could pull your car over right here and just go into the woods. I was going to go down there recently, but a friend of mine sent me a YouTube comment that said the guy that actually owns this property, I guess, has cameras set up all around it, and he calls the cops when you go there. Because I was planning on going down there, but I don't know. I'm nervous about trying to get in. But some of these other sites I've actually been able to discover some information about.
One thing if you look at the Brides America, the way the Indians used to mine copper, it would end up creating mounds as well too. So that's why I think a lot of these are disappeared, because they're old copper mines. I'm not talking about these ones in Ohio in particular. It's just they do develop mounds from digging out underneath the ground as well. You don't see that very often or talked about.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Because if you look at modern construction sites, when they dig out to build buildings, you can see that they accidentally create a mound right next to it. But the way that they do it is just, it's a lot different than what you see in some of these ancient sites.
Well, yeah, like even right near me, they covered up Indian Town with a landfill, and the landfill looks like the biggest mound you'd ever seen in your life. It's like there's a pyramid like 2 kilometers away from me now, and it's like, is one day they're like people going to be talking about that, thinking it's like the mound builders. Because if they do dig deep enough, they will find a civilization after civilization once they get through all the garbage. Like same kind of thing.
No, I think about that all the time. That I think, like when they discover these modern theaters that people build that no one ever uses at these public parks, like 1,000 years from now, someone's going to look back and be like, "Oh, this is what this was," but it's like just this random site that no one ever used. For example, in my city, there's a outdoor theater that they built that literally never gets used. So I'm just imagining someone getting paid in
We're
the
going to start
future.
off by looking at a book by William C.
So this is
Mills called The Archaeological Atlas of Ohio.
the site I was just showing on this map right here. Go back to that real quick for. This is in Clintonville, Ohio. This is at the Ohio School for the Deaf. And it's completely blocked off. You can't get in there, unfortunately, to check it out. But according to this map, this is more than likely Morris Road right here. So you see this triangle and the triangle underneath it. This is probably the Ohio School for Deaf. I think I discovered one of the mounds that still exist on this property. I'm checking that out real quick.
You can't really get access to it.
Yeah, so in this clip here, you can see that the Ohio Historical Society has access to other maps that show more mound sites in Ohio, but this is not public information. This is just something they keep behind closed doors. But WOSU did a documentary about some of the mound sites in Ohio, and they revealed this map. So I've been using this to also locate some other ones.
Mounds over on the property of the deaf and blind school.
There's 3 mounds over on the property of the deaf and blind school.
So you can already tell that in the map we were just looking at from 1914 from William C. Mills, those 3 mounds are not listed on there. But I went down there and it was completely gated in. I could not get access to it. You have to make an appointment to try to even get in there. This area right here, I know it's very blurry. Let's see if I can increase it a little bit. But back here, it seems like right behind this fence to the left here, to the left post, there might be one of the mounds. See if I can get a better picture of it.
One of the mounds, I'm not sure.
And guys, you talking in the chat about them maybe being refueling station for airships. That's entirely possible, because I do believe a lot of the like Native American earthworks, they were all pictures that, or images or icons that represent the tribe or what they traded, so it could be seen from above, so that when people would land with airships, they'd know where to land their ships, so that they could be in the right spot with the right people or trade for the right thing. So I